Hello everybody, welcome back to another video where today we will be watching what's it called again? I Am My Teacher. Hide in the bathroom. That sounds like a not safe for work thing, but okay, let's do it. And go!
One day, my oldest brother Derek was walking me and my twin brother Ryan home from kindergarten when a masked man leaned out of a car and grabbed me as he drove by.
Well.
I screamed at the top of my lungs, and before I knew it, the police were following us and it was a high-speed chase.
Yes. Why are you talking so fast though? Why are you talking so fast like this though?
The masked man accidentally slid off the road and crashed the car into a tree.
Yes.
The last thing I remember before being reunited with my brothers was seeing him knocked out but with his mask off. He was staring at me angrily. Hi.
I could bet.
My name is Maggie, and I'm about to tell you why I can't watch Pirates of the Caribbean. I found out about my problem straight away at the hospital. Dad said, "Baby, are you okay?" The nurses looked shocked as I screamed at the top of my lungs. Master!
Wait, why?
They thought I was traumatized.
Why though?
But the psychologist had another diagnosis. Turns out I had something called pogonophobia.
Wait, what's that?
It means a fear of beards. I know it sounds stupid and funny, but I
Oh crap.
was crazy nervous as I
Whoopsies.
tried
Okay, so you have a fear of beards.
disease that nearly ruined my life.
Oh, it's real? 1 second, let me just check that out. It's actually a real thing. Pogomophobia is a word it's a word that refers to, I don't know how to say that word, dislike or fear of beards. That's great. Anyways,
I couldn't even look at someone with a stubble without throwing a fit. I mean, I broke the TV during an episode of SpongeBob because a character with a beard scared me.
well,
Even normal things like shopping were a nightmare. My parents took me to a grocery store once, and I got so scared by a cereal box with a bearded man on it, I knocked over the whole display and made a huge mess. It was a lot of stress
well, that's a lot of money wasted.
for my parents. In fact, I overheard them talking to my brothers about me one day. Mom said, "She's crazy." Dad said, "I know. We need to send her somewhere else. I can't handle her anymore."
Lol.
I burst in on the family meeting, crying hysterically, and my parents looked uncomfortable. They said that I could come back when I was fixed. That's when my second brother
Fixed.
Joe came in. Family sticks together. Either you keep Maggie or you lose all of us. Derek and Ryan stood by his side, and my parents shot
Ryan's face.
each other an awkward look. And then they packed their bags and just left. Since then, Derek and
Bro,
Joe kind of
seriously?
became our parents. They had tea parties with me, took care of all the chores, and most importantly, defended me because of my condition. Derek
No
was
beard
dropping me
zone,
and Ryan off on our
lol.
first day of school when I saw my bearded teacher and had a meltdown.
So, do you have to see him every single day or half a day?
Ryan said, "Didn't you get the memo about BEARDS?" My teacher replied, "Wait, that was serious? I don't have time for this." Derek said, "Oh, we are very serious when it comes to our beautiful sister." He handed the teacher a razor
Well, great.
and told him he would watch the class while he did his job. Derek was kind of intimidating, so the annoyed teacher turned white and
Is
ran
that Popeye? Like Popeye the Sailor?
to the bathroom to shave.
It is.
I have to say, I'm pretty lucky to have the brothers I have. Later that year, when Ryan and I went to the school's Christmas party, I cried when I saw the Santa banners everywhere. I hid under a desk and covered my eyes. Everyone in class laughed at me, except Ryan.
How rude.
Ryan said, "You can open your eyes now." I said, "I can't, I'm scared." He said, "Trust me." When I looked around, I saw that he'd cut the beards off of all the Santa decorations. I was so happy, but everyone thought I was weird because of my fits. I didn't need friends, though. I had my older brothers and Ryan. They were more than enough for me. One day, though, I found out I wasn't enough anymore. It was our last week
Oh.
of middle school, and Ryan decided to go on an overnight trip. I said, "But we never go on overnight trips." He said, "Well, maybe we can start. Don't you want to make friends?" I
No, I do not like make friends.
said, "No, we don't want anyone else." It turned out I didn't want anyone else. Ryan tried so hard to convince me to go, but I refused. Finally, he said he didn't want to miss out. He tried to assure that nothing was changing between us. He said, "I'll just be gone a week. You won't even notice I'm gone.
This is
I
like
had
a-
news for you."
Well, it's like some girlfriend-boyfriend thing, but with brothers and sisters. Brothers.
We're in middle school. Things change overnight. The next week, Ryan came back from the trip with a little bit of stubble. My other brothers shot him daggers as I started to sob in the corner. I asked, "Oh, what's
Wow.
that on your face?" He said,
What's that
"I
on your
thought I'd try
face?"
something new." Without even asking me, I ran upstairs and locked myself in the bathroom.
Wow.
Ryan came to the door and tried to explain that he wasn't trying to hurt my feelings.
Well, brother, you should have shaved. Stop it with the dumb Discord messages. Well, not dumb, but whatever.
But this girl he had a huge crush on said she loved
Stop
facial
it.
hair. I hadn't had an incident in so long. He thought I'd grown out of it. I didn't want to mess up his chances with his crush, so I agreed to try it out. My brothers were so proud I was doing well. They thought I was cured. In reality, I was purposely looking away all the time. And it was eating
Got
me
him.
inside. One time, I was trying so hard not to look at Ryan that I fell down the stairs. See, as time passed and his stubble grew into a real beard, it was
Oh,
getting
God.
harder and harder to deal with my feelings.
If I had a stubble, I'd just pickle the little hairs off. Like, nope, nope, nope.
The day Ryan told me that he and his crush were finally going out, I broke down and begged him to shave it. He said,
Lol.
but she really likes my beard. I said, you're already dating. He asked,
Your beard looks awesome. Heart emojis. Heart emojis. Crush. Yes, her name is Crush.
what if she doesn't find me attractive anymore? I asked,
No
is
beard,
that
no
more
love.
important than your own twin sister? After a day
Twin?
of guilt tripping and a little convincing from Joe and Derek, Ryan walked into my room the next day, beard free. I
Yay. Everybody's now happy besides him. He's emotionally scarred. Do you not see his face?
ran up and hugged him. I was so happy. The next day, Ryan seemed really upset, but wouldn't say why. Joe decided to take us out to the new pizza place to try to cheer him up.
Okay, I can guess. Her crush does not like him because he doesn't have a beard.
Ryan
Obviously.
asked, can Maggie even handle going there? I said, sure I can. I tried with all my might to stay calm. Even when the restaurant was filled with bearded people, I could only do so much though.
Lol.
Then the waiter showed up and said, large pepperoni pizza for table 8. I screamed and knocked the pizza out of the bearded waiter's hands and splattered sauce all over Joe and Ryan.
That is hilarious, lol.
Ryan said, I told you this was a bad idea. I said, I'm really, really sorry. I just wanted to cheer you up. He said, do you even know why I'm upset? It turned out that his girlfriend had broken up with him the night before.
I knew
When she
it.
heard he shaved his beard for me, she got mad that he did whatever his sister asked. He told me that I'd ruined everything. He wished I was normal. As he left, I started to cry.
I knew it. I called it. I'm sorry for you. I forgot your name. Sorry, but not sorry. I called it.
I wish I was normal too. Joe tried to tell me that it was okay. Ryan would get over it. He was just sensitive because of the breakup. Joe said, it'll all be better in the morning. It wasn't. Ryan ignored me at school the next day. I nearly cried when I went to sit next to him and he told me the seat was taken. I ate lunch alone for a couple of days until this really cute guy sat down next to me with 2 cookies, handing me one. He said, pretty girls like you shouldn't be sitting alone. Hi, my name's Matthew. A boy sitting next to
What a terrible pickup line.
me was sure to catch Ryan's attention. He was angry the whole time before coming up to us. Ryan said, is this guy bothering you, sis? I said, oh, now you're talking to me? I was just upset. I'm sorry. Don't worry.
Well.
Nothing could ever come between us. He was looking right at Matthew when he said that. He then sat
Ooh.
down next to Matthew, took out his notebook, and started firing questions at him. Ryan said, are you serious about my sister? Have you ever had a
Lol.
beard? How often do you shave? Matthew turned red and nearly fell out of his chair, saying we just met. I was ready to kill Ryan when we were all saved by the bell.
Agreed.
Later after school, I caught up with
I did
Matthew
that
and said I
too.
was sorry for Ryan's behavior.
Look,
Matthew said,
you're a girl.
don't worry. I get it. He's your brother.
Why not?
I am serious about asking you out, though. I
Well.
totally wasn't expecting that. And of course, I said yes. I immediately texted my brothers asking if it was okay, and they surprisingly agreed to a movie date and said
Well.
they would pick us up. The car ride was
That went amazingly smooth, so yeah. I don't think this is gonna do good. Oh, no. At the beginning of the movie, she says she cannot watch Pirates of the Caribbean. And I feel like that's exactly what they're about to watch. I am now big brain if I'm right. Anyways,
really uncomfortable. Joe was the driver, Derek was looking as scary as ever in the front, and Ryan sat between us in the back seat. I couldn't
Lol.
wait to get to the date when the biggest surprise ever happened. Why are we parking at the house? Derek turned to me and said, for your date, of course, silly. Poor Matthew had no idea what kind of date
Well.
he was in for. I walked into
What?
the lab with popcorn to see Derek grilling Matthew. You'd think he was a murder suspect being questioned by the police. Are you planning to
lol.
grow a beard? What does your beard mean to you? Do you consider it a sign of your manhood? If you were with Maggie and a bearded man came over, what would you do? You have only 3 attempts to answer that. Go. I said, oh my god, leave him alone, Joe! Matthew, let's pick a movie? Just
Joe!
Ryan walked in and said, yeah, what are we watching? My brothers decided we were all watching a movie. Matthew wanted to watch a romantic movie.
That is That is annoying as heck.
But Derek picked Frozen. I said, guys, we aren't 5. Can we watch something less lame? Ryan said, what are you talking about? It's epic. You know, when Anna and Elsa reunite. Aww. Then Joe said to
Bruh,
Matthew,
seriously?
hey, can you make some room? Derek said, yeah, just a little more to the left. Just like that, Matthew and I were sitting at opposite ends of the couch with all 3 of my brothers between us.
Bruh,
At the end of our
seriously?
date,
That's
if you
rude.
could even call it that, Joe drove Matthew home alone. I was so mad. They tried to assure me that they were just being big brothers, and this was all normal. Yeah,
I never do that. Lol.
well, tell that to Matthew.
Explain them,
He
yes.
avoided me all day and didn't respond to any of my texts. I didn't see him at lunch that day either. I was crying in the ladies' room when I heard a knock at the door asking if I was okay. It was Ryan. He said, is there anything I can do? I told him he had done more than enough by ruining my chances with my first date. I was also
Lol.
silent the entire drive home from school. They bought me flowers and chocolates, trying to show me I didn't need a boyfriend since I had such great brothers. I yelled at them,
I don't want a girlfriend, so yeah. I'm serious, by the way.
saying how I wasn't going to be
I
their
was for my
baby
money.
sister forever before locking myself in my room. A few hours later, someone knocked on my door and I walked over to shout at them to go away. When I opened it, it was Matthew.
Hey,
I'd been crying
it's
all
the math
day,
boy.
and now I looked like a mix between a raccoon and the girl from The Ring. I covered my face and told him not to look at me right now. He gently took my hands away and said, I don't care about all that. Listen, your brothers found me and
Listen.
for ruining the date, and wanted to make it up to us by letting us go on a real date. My brother
Okay. When is the teacher hiding the bathroom part going to happen?
were actually really sweet about it. Joe even helped me pick out an outfit and did my makeup. Matthew's jaw dropped when he came to pick me up. He said, oh, wow, Maggie. You look gorgeous.
Maggie.
Of course, they came with us to dinner and taught Matthew how to scan the room for any bearded men and shield the lady till she was safely seated at her table. But thankfully, they sat a few tables away. Baby steps. After a year of dating,
Baby
my
steps.
brothers really started to trust him more. I would even say they became friends. They constantly made jokes about how he better not grow facial hair now that he was a man, and never to mess with my sister or
That's
else.
that sister.
It really did all seem like jokes until the day he came back from summer break. When he showed up at my house after his 2-month family vacation in Europe, he brought a lot more surprises than a postcard. He walked in, sporting a scruffy beard, and I immediately screamed. Ah! Help! Derek! Derek rushed in and started screaming at Matthew. What were you thinking? We told you never to post stuff like this.
Bruh.
Matthew kept insisting that he thought it was just a joke because of a problem I had as a kid. He thought I would have grown out of it by now. That was it. Matthew was lucky my other brothers arrived when they did to hold Derek back. Ryan shouted at him to not come back till he had shaved again. He came back with a clean face a few hours later to apologize and talk in private. My brothers, reluctantly, let us talk alone. Matthew said sorry and explained he thought I would find it attractive, and he didn't mean to scare me. I forgave him, but I could tell my brothers weren't happy with him anymore.
Well.
After Matthew left, they argued I should break up with him because
No, Matthew! Lol. Now, I made my teacher hide in the bathroom. When is that going to happen?
he knew what he was doing. I kept trying to tell them it was all a misunderstanding, but I could tell something was up between us, and he was different now. He started making a lot of mean jokes about me. One day, I asked him if he wanted to go out to eat, and he said, are you sure? You're not going to cry like a baby if the waiter has a mustache?
Bruh.
I said, why are you acting this way? Come on, be nice. He raised his voice and
Mustache.
said, I am being nice. Putting up with your stupid condition. It's pretty hard not to have a...
That's my sister to me. Like, I am being nice. I am being nice. And I'm just like, can you stop yelling? I am being nice. Lol. That's my
normal
sister.
girlfriend and do normal things because you have a freak out wherever we go. I was really upset and went home crying.
How's
My
rude?
brothers tried to ask me what was wrong. I said I'd just seen a bearded man on my way home and gotten scared. Ryan came to check up on me and said, well, Matthew should have at least walked you home. I told him that Matthew wasn't my keeper. Nobody was. I decided to really push my boundaries one day. I decided I would surprise Matthew by going to the homecoming dance. I knew he was going alone because I avoided places with too many people. I only told Ryan about my plan. He kept begging me to let him come, but I insisted I needed to do this on my own. And he had
Every time she sees a bearded man, look away. Or she just looks at it and be like, try not to scream.
to promise not to tell the others.
Ultimate try
He
not to scream
reluctantly
challenge
agreed,
here.
but said I needed to check in every 15 minutes. I promised I would keep in touch as he dropped me off at the dance. I was trying really hard not to find anyone with a beard in the crowd. But then at one point, I caught a glimpse of a guy with some facial hair, and I screamed and knocked over the huge punch bowl. All eyes were on me. That's when I found him. Matthew
Okay, I thought this was supposed to be like a try not to scream challenge.
asked in disbelief, what are you doing here, Maggie? His jaw was wide open in shock, and his
I came
arms
to look
were
for
around
you.
another girl.
Oh.
The girl leaned closer to him and asked, "You know this weirdo, babe?" I ran out of the gym and
Babe.
into the hall, furious. Matthew came out and ran over to me. He wasn't trying to apologize, though. He was angry with me. I cried,
Why?
You're cheating on me!" He started rolling his eyes and shouting, "This is all your fault, you know? It's really hard to date you, and I do my best. Seriously,
How is it her fault when she has a condition that cannot be helped?
if you break up with me, you won't find anyone who cares about you as much as me." His face turned white when he heard Derek say, "Oh, buddy, she already has 3 men that care about her more than anything." All 3 of my brothers emerged from the hallway. This time,
Yes.
no one stopped Derek as he chased him screaming down the hallway. Joe and Ryan rushed over to make sure I
Yes.
was okay. I asked, "How did you know I was in trouble?"
Should have
Ryan
one and
winked
a
and
half
said,
left.
"I didn't hear from you every 15 minutes. Needless to say, Matthew and I didn't work out. But that didn't stop me from trying to get
Yeah.
better. With my brothers by my side to support me, I knew anything was
Every
possible.
single night at 3
I started
a.m. she
going to
looks at
therapy,
Bearded Man.
and I made a lot of progress.
Wait, is that the amassing ones? I think that's what it's called.
Fact, I persuaded my brothers to let me
That's
go
what
to
he looks
college out
like
of
right
town.
there.
My favorite moment ever was when I came back home and my macho brother Derek met my new boyfriend with tears in his eyes. He has a beard and everything.
He looks like Tony
We all
Stark.
hang out every weekend, and I couldn't be
He literally looks like Tony Stark.
luckier.
Oh crap.
I was sitting in my bedroom staring out of.
Oh crap. Well, anyways, that was the thing, but I forgot to mention where the freak is the teacher that hid in the bathroom. Clickbait. Lol. Anyways, like and subscribe. Bonus story. I made my principal worship me after I found out his dirty secret. Yes.
The window. It was cold and miserable outside, exactly matching how I was feeling.
Wow.
I had told my dad that I had homework to do, but honestly, I just wanted to be alone. I had felt
That's what I tell my siblings. But what I really do? I draw.
like that for over a year now, ever since the day my mom had disappeared. I tried
Right.
to visualize her face. I did that at least 3 or 4 times a day. I was so scared that one day I would forget what she looked like. We had no idea why she had gone.
Draw her face or animate it.
One day she was there, the next day it was just me and Dad. I missed her so much. I missed her singing in the kitchen and the sound of her laughter when Dad told her one of his jokes. Since she had left, there had been no more happiness in our house. Dad and I were
Bruh.
just existing. The loud knocking on
Yeah, we were just existing.
the sound of her laughter when Dad told her one of his jokes. Since she had left, there had been no more happiness in our house.
No more
Dad
happy.
and I were just existing. The loud knocking on the front door
Oh, God.
snapped me out of my reminiscence.
That is pretty loud, gotta say.
I heard Dad open the door, and then the sound of his footsteps were coming up the stairs. He opened my bedroom door, and I looked up. "Jason, you'd better come downstairs," he said. "The police are here, and they have something important to tell us."
What? The police? Excuse me?
My stomach lurched at his words. My head spun with the thoughts of all the reasons the police might be there. I followed Dad downstairs and
Mother?
to the lounge. There were 2 policemen sitting on the couch.
Mother, is that you? I gotta turn this down.
As Dad and I sat down, one of them spoke. "We have some good news,"
Your
they
mom's
said
found.
to Dad. "We have found your wife, and she's alive and
What?
safe."
Seriously? Well, that does happen in these. Okay, I think these are just clickbait titles, though. Anyways,
But before I go on, make sure you like and
and
subscribe. And hit
like and subscribe to Hydra Phobia 22B. Let's do this.
that notification bell so you don't miss out on any more crazy stories. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Mom had been found. Dad and I put on our coats and got into Dad's car. We followed the police back to the station. When we arrived, they took us through to a room at the back.
Hey,
When they opened the door, I could see my
Hey,
mom sitting on a
there
chair
she
behind
is.
a table. I ran and put my arms around her, hugging her as tightly as I could. Mom, I can't believe it's you. I'm so happy to see you. I've missed you so much," I cried. But Mom looked at me in
Ugh.
confusion. "Who are you 2?
who are you? Where's my mocha frappuccino?
She asked. The policeman then explained to us that Mom seemed to be suffering from amnesia. They had found her wandering on the side of the road. She wasn't wearing a coat and looked confused, so they had brought her along to the station. One of the sergeants there had recognized her from the missing report we had filed. It might take a while, but we're confident that her memory will return, he said. Just be patient with her. The three of us drove home in silence. It was so bittersweet. On the one hand, I was so happy to have my mom back. But on the other hand, I was sad that she didn't know who I was. I vowed then that I would do my best to help her regain her memory. It was the school holidays, so I spent every minute I could with my mom. I showed her old photographs of us together, and we watched home videos we had made. Slowly, Mom began to remember some of our times together.
Yay.
One day, we were sitting in the garden together, and she turned to me and said, "Why don't we go to the beach? You always loved going to the beach when you were little. You used to make sandcastles and splash about in the water." Mom eventually regained all of her memories. That is, except for the year she had been away from home. It didn't matter how many doctors she saw or how many times we talked about it. She still had no recollection of anything she had seen or done in that year.
Well, that's bad.
But it didn't matter. We accepted the fact that we may never know where she had been or what she had done. The important thing was, we had her back. The school holidays came to an end far too quickly. It was time for me to go back to school. I wasn't looking forward to that.
I hate school.
I hated school. Well, actually, that wasn't true. It was the principal that I hated. I had no idea what I had ever done to him. But for some reason, he was out to ruin my life. The first day of school started off pretty normally. I went to my classes and managed not to get into any trouble with the teachers. The bell rang for lunch, and I followed my classmate to the dining hall. That was when I saw him, Mr. Yates, the school principal. I tried to avoid catching his eye, but no such luck. I heard his voice bellowing at me. "Jason, what do you think you're doing? Get to the back of the queue." I put my head down and tried to ignore him. "Right, that's it," he shouted. "You have an hour's detention this afternoon at my office." "Oh, please no, sir," I said. "I'll miss the tryouts for the football team." "Too bad, Jason. Be at my office straight after the last..."
I ain't going. What would you do, send me home? Wait, no, that's online school.
bell. I knew it was no good arguing with him. This happened to me all the time. I could never make it onto any of the school sports teams because I always missed either the selection process or the practice matches. My detention finally ended and I walked out of the school gates. Mom was waiting there for me.
Yay.
We began to walk home. As we were nearing the area where the teachers parked their cars, we saw Mr. Yates walking across the car park. Mom turned to me and said, "I know him." "Of course you do, Mom," I replied. "He's my school principal." "No," she said. "I mean, I know him from before." She then told me that she had gone to university with Mr. Yates, but he had dropped out before he had finished his degree. When we got home, I went up to my bedroom. I couldn't stop thinking about what Mom had told me. If it's true, if Mr. Yates doesn't have a degree, then how has he gotten the job as the school principal? I thought to myself.
Piracy?
I decided I was going to do some investigating into Mr. Yates. I started searching the internet, and it wasn't long before I found what I was looking for. There was a photo of Mr. Yates graduating from the same university that my mom had. He was holding his certificate for a degree in teaching. I blew the picture up as big as I could. That's when I noticed the discrepancies. It had so...
Hey, my story animated. Could I animate for y'all? Because that would be pretty cool. Like, you guys could, like, do a map of, like, a story, and I totally do it. Or Dory's story. You guys could, like, make a map for, like, the public to do. I would do it. I would animate a part.
Obviously been photoshopped. Mr. Yates had taken a photo of another student and put his own face and name on it. I smiled to myself. I knew that I would be able to use this information to my advantage. I began to form a plan in my head. The following day, I went out of my way to get in trouble with Mr. Yates. It didn't take much doing. He gave me a detention and told me to be at his office straight after school. As I walked toward his office, I felt excitement instead of the usual trepidation. I knocked on the door, and when he answered, I went inside. "Right, Jason, sit down and write out 100 lines, he said. "No," I shouted.
No.
He looked at me in shock.
No.
"How dare you, boy?" he yelled. "You will do as I say."
No. I refuse.
That's when I told him all that I had discovered about him. "You're a fake and a fraud, and if you don't start being nice to me, I'm gonna tell everyone what you've done." The color drained from his face. "Get out of here, now," he screamed. I left his office with a beam on my face. I knew that my life at school was going to be a whole lot better. Things did change. Mr. Yates stopped giving me detention after that.
Yay.
He even told the other teachers to start giving me an A in all of my exams.
Give
It
A
wasn't long
exams.
before I was top in my class in every subject. Mr.
I want
Yates,
to find out my principal's dirty secret and then post it on YouTube. Lol.
made me the school captain, and I got picked to play on the school football team. I didn't have anything to worry about as far as Mr. Yates was concerned, and my life at home was getting even better. Mom had started to get a few vague memories of the year she had been away.
Yay.
It was only small things at first. She would say things like she remembered sitting at a table eating her lunch, or she would describe the room she had slept in. I felt sure that it wouldn't be much longer before she was able to tell us everything. It was nearly
Described the dreams and sleep paralysis.
the end of term and time for my parents to meet with my teachers. Dad had to work late, so it was just me and Mom going. Usually I hated these meetings because my grades were bad, but this year I wasn't bothered at all. I knew that I would get a glowing report from every teacher. We met with all of my teachers, and then it was time for us to meet with Mr. Yates. We went into his office. As we sat down, Mom said, "Wait, I know you." "Yes," said Mr. Yates, "we went to university together." "No, it's not from then," Mom went on. "I remember being in your house." I looked at Mom in confusement. "It was last year," she said. "You kept me in your basement." "What are you talking about, Mom?" I asked her. "Are you saying Mr. Yates kidnapped you?" Mom looked at me and nodded, looking shocked herself. I couldn't believe it. My principal had kidnapped my mom? This new information was almost too hard to believe. I turned to Mr. Yates.
You better give me an S in every single one of my grades.
"Why would you do that?" "I was in love with you," he said to Mom. Then he looked towards me. "Your mom and I dated for a while in university, but then she dumped me and married your dad." I looked at him in astonishment. "You broke my heart when you married
Me that records a meeting. Yes.
Jason's dad. "But we only went out a couple of times," Mom said. "It wasn't serious." "It was for me," he said. "I never forgot my love for
Ooh, a girl. I never seen a girl so in love with me. Oh yeah, she dumped me? Yep, time to kidnap her.
you." Mr. Yates then told us how it was during his first week as principal at our school that he had noticed my mom. He had recognized her straight away as the girl who he had dated at university. He said that when he saw her again, all the old feelings came flooding back.
Ooh.
"I just had to get you back one way or another," he said. "That's why I decided to
Yandere
kidnap you.
boy.
I thought that once
Yandere boy.
you were living at my house, then you would fall in love with me and leave Jason's father. But I came home from work one day and found the front door wide open. You had broken out of the basement and managed to escape from the house. We're going to tell the police what you've done," I told him. "You'll be going to jail for a very long time." "Oh, I don't think so." With that, he pressed a button on the side of his desk. We heard a grating sound and iron shutters came sliding down all
Crap.
four sides of us. We were trapped like animals.
You see, this is why you should give your kids phones. This is why I keep my tablet on me. Because my tablet can also call 911. It's like, hello? Yep, we're trapped in cages.
In an enclosure. "My dad will save us," I cried. "Once he realizes we're not home, he'll come looking for us." "Then I'll kidnap your dad, too." "No, no." Suddenly, we heard a knocking at the door. "Shh, be quiet, or you will both regret it," said Mr. Yates. He went and opened the door. His secretary was standing outside. "Is everything all right, Mr. Yates?" she asked.
Me that goes, lol.
"Yes, why?" "It's just that we heard your conversation on the school intercom." That's when Mr. Yates realized everything he had said had been broadcast to the whole school. Every teacher, parent, and child now knew what he had done. That's when I saw my opportunity. I picked up the microphone on his desk and spoke into it. "Help! Please, help us! We're trapped in the principal's office.
Does anybody realize that his mouth's upside down?
He's a fraud. He faked his own degree certificate and kidnapped my mom. Now he's holding us hostage here." Mr. Yates sat in his chair with a look of despair. He knew that it was all over.
That
A few seconds later, the police burst into the room, closely followed by my dad. He came over and put his arms around me and Mom.
Okay.
"The school secretary phoned me as soon as she heard your conversation on the intercom. I got
Nice.
here as soon as I could. There's no way I'm going to lose either of you again," he said.
Nice.
The police handcuffed Mr. Yates and told him he was under arrest for faking his degree and
You're under the rest.
kidnapping my mom. They took him outside and put him into their police car. As the car pulled out of the school driveway, Mr. Yates turned and looked out of the back window. I thought he was looking at the school, but actually, I think he was just getting one final look at my mom. I didn't.
Okay, so that's pretty cool. Anyways, that's all for today. Like, subscribe, share with a friend. See you next time. Bye, Cactus Gang. I'm just kidding, Fox Gang.